Hi and hello there, welcome to WITTV, and today I will be talking about writing what you know. So as a writer, we get a lot of prompts from either writing workshops or teachers or possibly other authors that you've heard to write what we know, to stay within our ground of familiarity to get the best work out of us. And here's why I sort of think that this is bullshit. I took a writing workshop here at the university, and it was essentially a class, but it was a seminar. And there was one particular student who would read everybody's work and get really, really upset, I believe, that our work wasn't necessarily within the realm of reality, and that it had too many deaths or that it had too many abnormal things. She or he, oops, bullshit. If you think that writing what you know gets the best out of you, then stick to it. Don't even listen to the rest of this video. You've got your formula and work to it. I personally have been writing since I was 13. 11 was really bad stuff, so I'm gonna say 13. And the things that I would write about were not even anywhere close to the realm of reality. Now, they weren't good at that age, and I will be the first to admit that. The thing is that writing that way gave me an outlet not only to escape my reality, which is a lot of things that, like misconceptions with writing, either fantasy, sci-fi, or just things that you as an author are not firsthand familiar with. I still somehow manage to take the extreme and the elaborate and find my own voice in this extraordinary world. And through that, I did either work out my own problems or work out things that I want to understand. And I think that's why I believe that writing what you know really dismisses a huge chunk of ambition in the writing world that I feel like it's kind of taken for granted. The great thing about being a writer is that all of our experiences are probably things other people haven't heard before. And if that's an argument to write what you know and you genuinely do want to write it, I would say that would be your best bet. However, if writing to you, even though your life is probably unique and incredible and might make for a good story, you don't have to write that story. You can write what you like to read, which is probably my better advice. Write what you want to read. I went to a sci-fi and fantasy convention at another university, and one of the great things that we were talking about was the keynote speaker was speaking about how we use sci-fi and fantasy to get through real issues, and that's absolutely amazing. And I think that there's you could probably hear my bed, sorry. There are reasons why things like the first interracial kiss happened in Star Trek, because when we're given this realm of like fantasy or sci-fi or things that we are not familiar with, we enter a realm where anything is possible. And when entering that, we manage to take a bit of ourselves and work through issues and work through things that people don't understand are still very real. Now, unless you think John Green was, at some point of his life, a teenage girl battling cancer, you cannot argue the fact that sometimes writing things that you have no idea about ends up being amazing. At the end of the day, it's all about the story that you want to tell, and no matter what kind of story that you're writing, the best ones are not necessarily grounded in reality, but just have the aspects of humanistic relationships or things that the average person goes through, not necessarily in the most realist of ways. At the end of the day, these are all just stories, and stories that we all can relate to in some way. If your story has laser guns or just a regular day at school, those stories in all terms might not be written equally, but are just as important. I think it's almost gotten to the point where I'm sort of rambling, But if this made any sense to you, please let me know. Let me know what you think about the idea of writing what you know as opposed to writing what you wish to know. If I was to give any advice, it would be that if you are not indeed writing what you do not know, which I do all the time, just do your research. That's it. That's all that matters. You don't necessarily have to become the, master of the certain field that you're researching in, just enough where you can get a grasp of this world that you are creating. That's all from me, folks. Thanks for watching, and for God's sake, go read something.